If I was a parent here and I asked you what are one or two reasons why you turned down however much it is, you dispute $23 million, what would those reasons be?
Well, again, I'm going to have them contact you, but there's some question as to if they would even be able to honor that agreement.
How do you react to that?
I'm almost dumbfounded by that.
So related to the controversy between Batavia Village and Batavia School District over a housing development by the Claremont County Airport, on August 15th, I requested interviews with both Mayor Scott Runk of Batavia Village and with School Board President Barb Bruner. Mayor Runk got back to me the same day on August 15th telling me that he was in Florida with an ill father, but that I could do an interview with Ken Geis. Barb Bruner never responded, so on August 18th, I actually went to the Batavia district offices where I encountered school treasurer Michael Ashmore.
Can I help you?
Yes, Keith Millard here.
He just left, actually.
Okay.
To the golf, I believe.
To where?
The golf today.
Okay.
The team.
Okay, so I have asked him, I'll give you my card.
Yep.
And I guess a board member, how do you say, Bruner? Or
Bruner.
Bruner, okay, for an interview relating to the deal with Batavia Schools. But I haven't gotten anything back, and the mayor of Batavia responded like within 24 hours.
I know we did discuss at the board meeting the other night, so I'll make sure he knows you were here. And
So will you guys respond, and will he or she do an on-the-camera interview?
I can't answer that for you. I don't know, but we'll respond for sure. But I don't know if you.
And what's your role?
I'm the treasurer here.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, Batavia Village met all of your demands that were expressed in a meeting, and actually we're going to give you more money than your demands would have resulted in, and you turned that down, like $23 million?
That's not the full story.
What's the full story?
Well, I'd rather have Barb, our board president, talk to you about it.
So let me interrupt here. Treasurer Ashmore tells me that he wants Barb Bruner to respond to my questions. But after I talk to Treasurer Ashmore, Barb Bruner sends me an email telling me that she won't talk about this because it's not in the best interest of the community to participate in an interview. It's funny how it was in the best interest of the community to rouse people up before.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry. Let me get comfortable here.
This very heated meeting of the village of Batavia.
I see frustrated people. The people want to be heard. They want to be seen.
Michelle Snyder with the school district didn't make it in. The county auditor didn't make it in.
We're talking about a lot of money, and it's not only they're not getting the money, but they're going to have to provide the services.
But now that you have turned down a $23 million offer, it's in the best interest of the community that we don't say anything more about this. It is all very political. Give me one or two things that are not.
We'll have them give you a call.
Give me one or two things that was missing from what the village responded.
I'm not going to respond to that because
you're the treasurer.
I understand. I'm the treasurer.
So if you can't stand here right now, after it's been turned down, and tell me one or two things, that's bizarre.
It's not bizarre. Because
why isn't it bizarre?
Because the details of it are a lot more complicated.
Well, give me one big picture.
I would rather have someone who's much more versed in that, our attorney, for instance, respond to that.
So you need an attorney to explain why you turned down $23 million?
We didn't turn down $23 million.
What did you do then?
We didn't accept the agreement. Again, I will make sure that they, Barb Bruner or Keith gets back with you.
So I think that some people, including me, would question whether it's about the kids or about politics.
It has nothing to do with politics.
Nothing to do with politics?
Absolutely not.
So then how come the housing developments up by the old Ford factory didn't create a lot of issues for the district?
Most of that's in the C&E district.
Okay, I don't know about that.
Well, it is.
So, but part of it's not.
Part of it is not.
Okay, so I just don't get it. I'm looking for, I politely ask for an interview.
Okay.
Nobody gets back to me.
We will make sure.
So I walk in here and then I ask you, just give me some big picture things. If I was a parent here and I asked you what are one or two reasons why you turned down however much it is, you dispute $23 million, what would those reasons be?
Well, again, I'm going to have them contact you, but there's some question as to if they would even be able to honor that agreement.
That's the reason you turned it down?
I didn't say that. You asked me for a couple of comments.
Okay, so question as to whether they would honor what else? Anything else?
That's all I'm going to say right now. Again, I will have them get back to you.
Okay, and what's your name?
Michael Ashmore.
Okay, thank you, Michael.
Yep,
I appreciate it. After I talked to Treasurer Ashmore, I went to Batavia Village, and there I found Ken Geis and asked him to comment on the situation, including what Treasurer Ashmore had told me. I kept pressing him and he said one of the reasons was that they were concerned that the village didn't have the ability to live up to its obligation. So let's start there. How do you react to that?
I'm almost dumbfounded by that, because the reality is the village never would have made a representation if they couldn't live up to the obligation.
Okay.
I can't give a legal opinion on that, but I've entered into numerous intergovernmental agreements that have all been enforceable.
Have you in your career ever reneged on an agreement?
No.
I guess in Union Township, some people might say the Milford thing could be one, but I think that was actually Milford reneged on an agreement with the district about putting a new school in their offices. But in terms of meeting a financial obligation, have you ever had a case where you were unable or were part of a government unit that couldn't meet their financial obligation?
Never.
Okay. So in the bigger picture, I'm reacting to just that. But in the bigger picture, what is the story in terms of the offer that was made?
We agreed to do everything they asked us to do. And in fact, the village has held off on creating a CRA amendment to include the land in there so that we would know exactly what our requirements were to meet their demands from the village or the school district. And we were hopeful that they would come back and agree to exactly what they asked for in that so that we could move forward with the amendment to the CRA.
So why do you think that they didn't agree with what they had asked for?
I don't have a clue. I mean, it's hard for me to guess when someone tells me what their agreement is, what
they want,
what terms and conditions that they need to have to satisfy an agreement, and then when we agree to that, they say no.
Do you see any area where they could argue that in reality you did not meet their demands?
Absolutely not.
Okay, and so just to outline, what were their demands that they wanted the village to agree to relating to that project?
They wanted to, in essence, as their definition of make them whole in the agreement. And that would be to reimburse them the amount based upon the millage and the reduction factor, which in essence will provide them more revenue than they would have otherwise gotten in a traditional taxing
property tax increase.
Right.
Okay, so they basically wanted to be, so at this area, there's a CRA, community reinvestment, or there will be a CRA, and in a development by the airport. It's been very political. The school district claimed that I see signs all around here saying that the village doesn't care about the kids. But the reality is at this point is that they made a set of demands, you agreed to the demands, and that's where we are. And they said no then after that. How am I getting that wrong?
I would agree with that. Everything that you said is correct. And that the mayor and council said they do care about the kids, and that's why they were going to enter into this agreement. They're not obligated, when I say they, the village is not obligated to do any of this. The Ohio legislature set this up, and it is perfectly legal to exempt 100% of the new tax on the structure, and for the village to do whatever they want with the revenue if they create a pilot program, a payment in lieu of taxes.
In my understanding, somebody told me, I didn't know this, because I actually have not followed the issue that much in the big scheme of things, that Scott Runk was actually a long-term member of the Batavia School Board.
Yes.
Okay, so he knows about the school district and arguably would care about the kids having been on the board.
He stated that many times.
Okay. All right. So basically agreed to their demands. The $23 million, I'm sure it's like, here's $23 million. That's based on what? Like how much over per year, or how do you get to $23 million?
It's a fluctuating amount, and it rises and falls over about a 26-year period because not all the homes are going to be built day one. And we assumed that a simple phasing would be 50 homes per year for 12 years. And so the last home wouldn't be built until 12 years after the first home was built.
Okay. So it ramps up. So it starts smaller and then ramps up. $23 million during a duration of about 26 years.
Correct.
So I don't think this is about the kids. I think it's all about politics. So let's map it out. The school district accuses the village of, hating the kids and wanting to steal from the kids. The school district gives the village a list of demands. The village meets all the demands plus a little more. And then the school district reneges on the demands and turns down $23 million. This is about politics. And I tell you what I think it's about. I think it's about where the Blue Bloods live in Batavia Township, the Clough Pike corridor. So the housing development by the airport would generally be in that corridor where the Blue Bloods live. And they don't want poor people housing of $300,000 to $400,000 being built in the vicinity of where the Blue Bloods live. That's what this is about. So they're willing to throw the kids under the bus. They're willing to turn away $23 million. They're turning away more money than they would have got if these houses were just taxed as normal property tax. This is all about politics. It's not about the kids. And it says it all when Barb Bruner, all of a sudden, the people who were instigating this, whipping people up, are the very people that want it silenced now, that their demands were met, $23 million was offered, and they said basically F the kids. These people on these school boards and the superintendent, they are politicians.